Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of my Transport Fever series here on White Valley. In today's episode, we're going to go ahead and pretty much jump ship, actually, change what we did in the last two episodes, and I guess go ahead and start to work on some passenger stuff again, just because the time has come back round. So one or two things I do want to point out. I realised the audio in the last two episodes wasn't perfect. It could have been a bit better. I think just I've not quite got my audio settings correct, so I'm still playing around with stuff. Same with scheduling of videos as well, so I think what I might go ahead and do going forward is upload 3 videos every 4 days going forwards, and have 2 of them being Transport Fever videos, because I think, well, Transport Fever is the more popular game right now, plus I'm enjoying it a lot more. Anyway, that aside right now, as we can see, we've got a lot of wood building up here, even with a second train on the track, so we might have to make some modifications there, but I don't really want to start here. We will come back to this train station here just because I did say in the episode number 15, it must have been, that I wanted to have trains going 2 ways into this station, taking planks from here up to the town of, or the factory here at Hetton. However, I want to also return the output, which is some tools and some machinery, as we can see. And I've not gone ahead and put that return train in yet. Unfortunately, it can't be the same train just because there's no same wagons which carry that, unfortunately. Also, on top of this right now, I'm having to go ahead and deal with 1 or 2 issues. As we can see here, this junction, a few inefficiencies, if you will, which we do want to sort out, but we'll do that later on in the episode. The big challenge today is Hampstead. This is where we're going to be working on, because as we can see, the internal trains aren't too bad, actually. Right now, to our right, this yellow line, this is the train line which goes all the way out to Hetton. Then we've got a green line, this goes up via, I can't remember the names, Bawtree and then Southgate, which I actually want to extend. And then, that's not Bawtree, this is Bangor, sorry. I do want to build a railway line up to Bawtree, however. And then we've got our blue line here, this goes all the way around to Chorley, which is quite a long line, and that keeps on going to Burnham as well. So, very much a good start with this train station, but I need to go ahead and expand that. And then second of all, the internal transport connections are not very good. As we can see, we're relying on buses, which isn't ideal. The buses are overcrowded, and on top of that, there's no trams somehow in the town yet either, so there's a lot of work to do. So let's go ahead and start off by, essentially we're going to be getting rid of the buses here just because there's no need for them anymore. The only reason they are in currently is because there's not a railway line going up to Bawtree and Chorley, so that will be resolved pretty quickly. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work backwards, and we're going to go ahead and build this new railway station, or upgrade this railway station up here at Bawtree. What I want to do is I also want to make a second street connection, which is very important to this and the growth of this town up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove that part of the street, add in a second street connection, like so, and then just reconnect that up, though that isn't going to work naturally, so hopefully, I don't know, the game might go ahead and sort that out, but that's fine anyway, and that's a second street connection, which is perfect. We'll also add in a street connection there, so that can connect up to the south of the town. Sphere of influence of this train station is actually really good, so we can go ahead and utilise this well. What I would maybe like to do is continue the train along to Portishead here as well. Currently we have got a, I guess it must be quite a successful route as of current. Let's go ahead and have a look. So this must be from Bawtree to Chorley. Yeah, so we are doing very well here actually. So we've got 3 trains, but they're all working at full capacity. So I will want to go ahead and upgrade them, but I also want to go ahead and, instead of the train just going from Hampstead to Bawtree, I want it to continue on from Bawtree and go into Portishead as well, which should be easy enough to do. Hopefully that won't cause too many problems, but I will need a 3rd platform for this, and I'll go ahead and add that in now, which is easy enough to do. Alright, so with that said, let's get the game back underway and let's go ahead and, I guess, build this new connection into the train station here. So let's go ahead and have a third line just running parallel. And basically this means it can wait off to the side. So we'll have you come right through the tunnel and then you can drop in here like so, which is perfect. We've already got lights in place here. We wouldn't need one for coming out the station as that would have priority, but we do need a light here just to wait like that, which is perfect. Right, so that's us sorted out at Portishead, which is great to see. Now, this is going to be the fun part here in Bawtree, because we want to go ahead and, I guess, have things come out quite easy, but the problem is the height of this train station is not the best, just because it's elevated above this road, so we need to go ahead and sort of pretty much do that. Actually, it's not going to be too much of a problem, which is good. So let's go ahead and double this up like so. And then we'll just have it come down onto the ground, and then we'll wrap it round, and it will follow in this other railway line going up to Bangor and Southgate, which is easy enough to deal with. One thing I do want to talk about very quickly is that I have gone ahead and added in some new trains for you train lovers. I've got to you guys in the comments. So very much Billy Twister was wanting some Intercity 125s. They are very, very useful. I've not used them in the series yet, I don't think, so I need to go ahead and utilise those. On top of that, Ethanmeister suggested a variety of trains which I have brought in, mainly diesel locomotives actually, which are nice. We've got the 101s, the 01s, the 03s and the 09 class from British Rail, which I'm looking forward to using, and then furthermore, I've also had some suggestions for the DMUs and EMUs. Both are used in Ukraine, and I believe also the DMUs are used on Amtrak in USA as well. So I'm looking forward to using those, and hopefully we can use some of them in today's episodes. Very much at the heart of all my series going forward, I do want to integrate, and I previously did, I guess, integrate some user feedback. But I want to go ahead and do it to that next level and get you, the viewer, more involved as we go on, because I do want to go ahead and make it an interactive series anyway. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have this continuing down here, crossing over the road, and then it's probably going to have to be a bit of a sharper bend, so we're going to keep nice speed here. Let's run you to there, then we're going to have to start to curl in, though this can be a really, really big bend, so 95 is a bit slow though, isn't it? So if we can go ahead, we're going to cut this back slowly. I was watching some Transport Fever the other day actually, with Colonel Failure, or Connell Failure. I can never know how you pronounce the first word. I call him Colonel Failure. And it was very, very entertaining, but he was very, very sensitive just with track speed. He would take ages and ages over building a certain piece of track, so can understand really why to a degree, just because you want to keep track speed, but he was spending a lot of time on it, so I do care, but I mean, I don't care that much to be able to get every single last mile per hour out of my trains. I'm not really about that sort of game. Anyway, let's go ahead, and the approach is going to be slower in general anyway, just because we amalgamate here, and I'm going to have to redo this whole junction. This junction is going to get very big and very messy very quickly. So let's just go ahead and extend this all the way back round to here like so. Doesn't cost too much, and we're also at a very, very good profit margin right now, which is great to see. Right, so this is where the predicament comes in. This train station needs upgraded because we're going to need a 4th platform, which is going to be good fun. So let's go ahead and pause this now. All the trains are out the station, just about. Upgrading to 4 platforms isn't going to be a straightforward upgrade because we don't have the room, first of all. We have a problem with the bus station being in the way anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to downgrade the bus station so it's still actually in action, and then just because we've only got 2 routes, 2 terminals works there, though those routes will be demolished. Now, we probably need to go ahead and cut back this access road, which I will replace pretty much straight away, so that's not a worry. Let's upgrade you to 4 platforms now, and that works out. Let's go for high speed, and I would also like to increase the length of the railway station as well, which is not going to be an easy upgrade at all. So let's go ahead and put that road back in before I forget. now this is where things get a little bit complicated. I'm going to have to delete both ends of the station and we're just going to have to work from there. So, we can have you go backwards, first of all. I realise trains are probably going to be quite badly affected here, but it's just going to have to do. And then at this end will be the more difficult end just because of the high-rise buildings and also the entrance here. It just needs totally redone. So let's go ahead and chase these trains out of here for the time being. Get rid of that road as well. We're probably going to have to delete this road too, and I'll replace it here and delete those buildings. Right, so that works for now. That should allow us to extend the length of the station. 7 buildings will be removed, costing 5 million. So we've spent a lot on this upgrade, but it's an upgrade which is very much for the future. Right, so let's start at this side here. This side will be the easier side very much. What I want to simply do is I want to have the... That's on the wrong track now, this train, so we'll have to resolve that issue. I don't really want much of a complicated junction at all, to be honest, actually. Let's go ahead and have something simple like so. And then let's also have you just come into here like that. So that means we have, I guess, platform 3, which is the one where my mouse is. That goes into the line of platform 1, and then 4 to 2. And then we can have a crossover. We sort of do have a crossover out here, actually, which is fine. And then we'll have you go into you like that. Again, this isn't perfect out here either, but we've got part of the railway line going through a tunnel and part of it not, so really not ideal at all, but anyway, we will deal with that. So that's this end dealt with, and if we go ahead and look at the line master, we can see that that is dealt with. That will do for the time being, though... Do we want this train going in at platform 4 going forward? I probably would say yes, we do actually. So let's go ahead and quickly change this to platform 4. I think that will be a little bit better. So we have the signal there, the train stops, and then it filters in to platform 4, which is great. So that's that sorted. Now, this is going to be the fun part here. So we're going to have our original lines connecting up to... Actually, we're going to build totally new lines. We're going to build these approaches here, and what I want to do is probably have this doubled going all the way out, actually. So let's go ahead and not amalgamate these lines, because we're going to change something here quite drastically. I need to continue to chase this train out, so let's go ahead and delete that, and delete that, and delete that, and that. And that, and I think you're definitely on the wrong line now, which is problematic. So what I want to do before this junction now is you guys are going to have a direct train running into there like that, but let's extend you guys out a bit first of all, and now let's go ahead and take the outside track and then build you into there. 51 miles per hour, not very fast at all, but it will do for the time being. Let's go ahead and then also take this piece of track in like so. And this will run along and that will join into there. So this line now is uninterrupted, which goes off to Chorley and then eventually Burnham. Now with this line it'll be slightly different. You will go into there, but you won't, of course, because of some terraforming issues, which is fair enough. So let's go ahead and connect you. You'll run parallel and then you should run into there without a problem, but you will have a problem. So we'll build you to there and then build you into there like so. Construction not possible because... I think it just wants to remove the house, so that's the house removed, and there we go. So that's this up to speed, which is good, and that will now run into there. Then what we want is we want pretty much just a change from track 3 into track 1, and then the same here with 2 and 4 as well. Losing a little bit of speed, but not too bad, so those 4 lines run in parallel, so it means that they're going to share the same approach, which isn't the best, but I can't really have 6 lines coming into here anyway, it's just not realistic. Can we achieve a crossover here though, because that would be really nice. Though it's not going to happen, I can just already tell. It's not going to work. though it will work. What are the chances of that? I'm very, very, very surprised at that. Right, so that makes my life a lot easier here, so we can go ahead and put a signal in there. And then we'll need to signal up this junction as well. So what we'll need is signal there on 1 and a signal there on 3. And that will do for the time being, I believe. That should sort out that junction anyway. We need to go ahead and also add in now. You're going to be going into platform 3 here, so we just need a junction going across there like so. And then what we'll need is we'll need a signal in there on approach to platform 3. So that should sort out all the routing, though it hasn't, unfortunately, which is problematic. So what are the issues? Well, first of all, we've obviously not got the new line built yet, so that's something which can be addressed now. So I want to go ahead and connect up Portishead over here at the new platform 3. You will share a line on this route here, and then you will stop in here, wrap right around and come into Hampstead, and then you will just go back the same way like so. So you guys aren't fine here. That's just going to cause us lots of problems. I'm not at all sure why that is though. What I want to do is put you onto platform, so I need to get rid of line manager first of all. I need to go ahead and jump into here. Terminals, we need to put line, we need to put you into there. Which doesn't then work for some reason. It's because I've not got a crossover somewhere. Alright, there we have it. So that's me managed to go ahead and sort out all the trains and all the routing problems, which is nice to see. So we've now got, if we go ahead and have a look at this view, a much better idea of what's going on. So, the yellow line, as we know, that goes down from Hampstead to Hetton. The blue line is, the blue line was causing us an issue just because it wanted to go back into platform 2. So that's now sorted itself out, which is great. That goes off to Chorley and then eventually round to Burnham. We've got the light green line, our new line, which we're going to change colour to a dark blue. Just so I can go ahead and make that a little bit different. That will run up to Bawtree, and then we've got the dark green line which goes out to Bangor and then Southgates, which is good. So there will be a bit of line sharing here, but it shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't affect us that badly. And if it does, then we'll go ahead and cause uproar about it. Right, so the final thing I want to do now before we put a new train onto this line 1, which I can actually go ahead and name, it's going to be the T, and then we're going from Hampstead to Portishead. I think that is how we want to go ahead and spell it. Let me get Hampstead correct as well. So there we go. So that is that route sorted, but I have spotted an inconvenience, if you will, and I also need to signal up the whole track as well. The inconvenience will be in this station here at the town of Bawtree, and that's if trains are terminating here on the orange line, then it's going to be problematic because it's going to hold up my new blue line trains. So for this I actually need to add a third platform, and I really should have thought this through. As we can see, this actually sorted itself out, which wasn't bad, but I need to go for a third platform now, which shouldn't be too difficult to go for. So let's go ahead and remove you and you. Let's go ahead and also delete that, and now I can go ahead and add in a third platform, which is good. So that partially resolves this issue. Now what I want to do is reconnect up this road to there, and then let's bring back this old street here, if you will, and then we can just have you go into there. Quite a sharp bend, but the game will probably sort that out itself, which is fine. So that's just got a third platform in here. So what we're going to do is instead we're going to shuffle some of this stuff about here actually, and we want this train to go into, instead of platform number 1, we want the orange line to go into platform number 3 now instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this in here. That was a bit much, but it will do the job nonetheless. Let's go ahead now and continue you in and around into there. And now what I want to do is have you come across like that. And then have you just a separate line which comes across there and just merges into there like so. And then that isn't going to quite work as I want it to. So let's delete this again and let's redo that. We want a very short exit out of there and into there. And that works not quite because of the sloping issue, which isn't good. So instead, if we can have just a line running parallel to this, remove that building, and then have you merge into there like so. That will solve that problem. Now we need to just go ahead and go to terminals, take this orange route and put it into terminal 3, and that resolves the issue perfectly there. And that will allow for that train to, or the orange line to not clog up the upcoming blue line, which is perfect. So we've got a signal there, which means wait. We could actually make this even more efficient, and I think I will actually do that. What I'm going to do is we're going to have an extra branch line come out here to the side. So let's delete that there. Let's go ahead and bring out this. Why is there too much slope? There's always too much slope. Right, there we go. That works nicely there. And then we're just going to have this. So it means that if a train is waiting to cross over to platform 3, it's not actually affected. Most people can probably see what I'm doing here. Like so. So that means now this train jumps around, moves out of the way. So that means if there's a train that needs to wait, it can wait in the middle track. And that means then blue trains can just speed on by and straight into the station, which is perfect. Right, so let's go ahead and very quickly sort out some signalling here. The signal just literally needs to be there, which is fine. We might actually need a signal here for that matter, and then we also might need a signal. I actually want this orange line to have right of way. Actually, it doesn't necessarily need to have right of way. It maybe shouldn't. We'll just stick a signal in there anyway, but that works out fine. And that, ladies and gentlemen, resolves my issue. I can't believe how fast this episode has gone, because I felt I've only gone ahead and wiggled around some railway lines. We're not even really focused on Hampstead as of yet. But we have a new railway line, and that means new trains. So let's go ahead and build the engine house out here this time, and let's go ahead and stick it just here in the middle of nowhere. Let's go ahead and go into engine houses. Again, I need to add in some more. Of course that would happen. Of course there's not enough room. Oh my word, this is so frustrating at times, you know that. Right, that'll do, and I'm just gonna go ahead and... See, small things like that you really just wouldn't consider, but... Anyway, there we go. Right, you can amalgamate into there like so. And that resolves our issues. Right, so as I was saying early on in the episode, we have some new trains, which are very much... I would like to use them. I don't think they're going to be ideal for this anyway, but I just do want to show you them. So, as I said, I've got Class 01s and Class 03, so these are very, very, very small locomotives. They've not really got that great speed, but they're pretty much for shunting stuff around like mega ports, which we'll eventually build. The coolest one by far has to be these Class 09, because they're just so smart. They remind me of a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine trains actually from back in the day, which is quite interesting. Then on top of that, we've not really brought too much more else into here in fact actually for the time being, though we still have a lot of different options for different locomotives. However, I'm not really too interested in anything else in here for the time being. With regards to the other trains that we do and did bring in, we've got the... Oh, this is going to be impossible to find. It must be multiple units they are actually, the DMUs and the EMUs. So if we have a look in here, and this is one of them. This is the Illinois Central Highliner, and as we can see... What actually type of train is this? I believe this is here. This is one of the EMU trains. They look really, really ugly, actually. Really ugly. so I don't think I will go with them. I've also brought in some metro trains as well, just because I'm wanting to play around the idea of building a purely underground line or a purely underground network of a few different lines in maybe a city like Hampstead at some point. I've been playing around with that thought. These are the other trains. We've got the DMUs. I don't think I'm going to put them on this line just because this is going to be a quite high speed line, but again, if we build some metropolitan rail in with a city, then we could go ahead and put them on the tracks, and some more EMUs as well, but just a different type actually. I believe these are the Ukrainian ones for Soviet electrical multiple units there. Anyway, what are we going to put on this? Very, very good question. Something quite modern, something quite fancy is what I want to go for. I'm looking at these guys actually. These trains are interesting, a little bit different as well. Top speed not too high though. Again, I do want to try something different though. Maybe thinking some Stadler related train just because they are the fastest and the best, and I have money to spend. So capacity 138, I think that would be ideal. Good top speeds and a very nice loading speed. So I think we're going to go for 3 of these for the time being, just because I think this route will get relatively popular quite quickly, especially if we remove the bus routes. Right, so that's them on the Hampstead to Portishead route, and that can go ahead and get going when well, I guess they can start going now, though I do need to go ahead and very quickly signal up most of this track, just because it's not quite fully signalled yet. However, when the first trains get underway, that issue will be sorted out. So all signals on that part are fine. Then we just need to go ahead and have signals coming around this bend up until the junction, which is good enough and easy enough to do. This straight's going to look really, really nice actually, having the 4 tracks here and having multiple high-speed trains coming down here. I do think it'll look really nice when it is up and going. I do also see us upgrading this line possibly in the future as well, just because of the fact I think Hampstead is going to grow very quickly if it's not already. Right, one more thing I do want to do though is we need to reconnect up some of these roads, and that is going to be a fun process. So let's go ahead and do something like that, and let's do something like that. So that is one of the old roads reconnected up, and then I don't think we're going to get anything across here or any closer, unfortunately, so I think this will have to do for the time being. So we've got 2 roads which cross the track. We're also starting to get a lot of lifetime issues reached, but we'll go ahead and deal with that at another time. Right, so Hampstead to Southgate is over capacity by quite a bit, it looks like, so I want to go ahead and sort that issue out. As we can see, there's too many people waiting in Bangor, and then there's also a fair amount of people in Southgate. I do actually really want to go ahead and extend this route round to Spalding, but we'll have to do that in the next episode because, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about out of time. So what I want to do here is actually go ahead and have a look and see, because we do have big capacity trains on the line. However, I think I know what our issue is here. It's because we've got different lengths of trains. So we've got 3. Interestingly, you're waiting for a free... Okay, this is at the very end of the line actually, so that's fine. We've actually got different capacities on this, which is not ideal. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and sort that out. So let's jump back into here, let's go to multiple units. I'm happy to keep the 168-seater trains on here. That's not a problem, or we could go for maybe TGVs. I think we'll actually stick with what we've got, so I believe we have... must be these bad boys here. The SNCF Class X 72500 3-car times 3 sets. Let's go ahead and keep them on the move for the time being. So let's go ahead and put automatic replacement on and replace now. So that's going to replace one of the ones which only had 92 seats. And I also want to add an additional one as well, which should be easy enough to do. Whereabouts is the engine house for this line it is here. So let's go ahead and multiple units. Let's add another one of these bad boys on. And then let's go ahead and hopefully deal with this overcrowding anyway. It probably will take a little bit of time to go ahead and take effect. However, hopefully it'll only take maybe an episode or so. Though, as I said, I do want to go ahead and extend it. Right, so that's Hampstead to Southgate. That will get moving very quickly too. I think I need to put more signals on this line as well. Now we've got more trains as well. So let's go ahead and do that very, very quickly. Make sure that we can get some trains just spaced that little bit closer together as we go forward. And that should resolve all of our issues. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we've not really touched Hampstead at all, to be honest, but hopefully with this new railway line it is going to have some effect. I also want in the next episode work around to Spalding too, and then I just want to try and kind of connect up this part of the world too. That's a few episodes down the line though, so we've got a lot of ongoing issues as we can see here, but we've made a start in Hampstead anyway, which is a good sign. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Please leave a like, rate and subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into that comment section below, give me some feedback, tell me what you'd like to see me do, and I'll incorporate it in quite a few episodes time. I am mass recording, hence it's taken a while to get your feedback into this series, but I do very much want to continue to do it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this video, so thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.